The one thing, and it's something that we talked about this last week, um, and it's something that I it frustrates me the media's reaction, but I think the media is going to be changing its tune. Tomorrow or today is the day that a former president of the United States is on trial for the first of four felony criminal indictments. It seems like a case where there is a belief he'll get convicted, but everyone's downplaying the severity of what a conviction means. Tell me, in any other time in American history, especially recent American history, when ever, whenever is being found or convicted of a felony ever good for a president? When is that ever, or a presidential candidate? Republicans, the media, everybody has some decisions to make because you literally, by Memorial Day, maybe a little after, potentially will have a former president of the United States, current nominee or nominee in waiting because it doesn't become official until August, who is going to be walking around with his first criminal conviction, and he would be eligible for three others. Um, that should be earth shattering. If 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 we get to a point to where Trump gets convicted, I want to see little hands thrown on TV sets. Uh, if anyone says, "Well, this is good for Trump," it's not good for Trump. It's not good for Trump. And if it is good for Trump, then this country is as backwards as many people say it is, because there is no. Don't talk to me about character and values and right or wrong if you're saying to me a man convicted of a felony, his first of four felonies, don't don't look with me in a straight face. And if and we don't expect it to be, but if he gets convicted, and any Republican that's on the ballot who does not distance himself from should pay a price. Do you really think that any Democrat could run with a president or a presidential candidate who has got a criminal conviction? That would be a liability. Trump gets convicted. If Trump gets convicted, not only do we need to make it a liability for him, we need to make it a liability for every Republican on the ballot.
I couldn't agree with you more, John. And here's how I break it down for people, and here's how I'll break it down now. The first thing I look at is one, what are the Republicans trying to do to Joe Biden? They're trying to get him caught up in some sort of conspiracy with his son. They're trying to get charges brought against him. They're trying to get impeachment hearings against him. Why are they trying to do that? If charges are good for a presidential candidate, then why are they trying to get charges for Joe Biden brought up? Because they think it's bad. So that's the first kind of BS talking point that I push against, is that it's good for Donald Trump because if you want Biden to have charges, then you think that that's going to boost his popularity in the world, right? The second part is this, and this is the interesting part of this. I think it is good for him with his base, but his base is going to vote for him no matter what. He's never going to lose his base. There's a certain base that's always going to vote for him no matter what. And I think it is good. Like the charges and the mugshots and all that stuff is good for the base. What it's not good for is everybody else you need to win elections. All the independent voters, all the suburban moms, quote unquote, those people in the suburbs of Pennsylvania, the people in the suburbs of Michigan, what have you, that's who it's not good for. And that's ultimately who he lost in 2020. That's ultimately why Joe Biden won the election. And I think that's why ultimately those people will never come back to Donald Trump or maybe the Republican Party ever again. So it is good for him, just not for the people that he needs it to be good for. So, one, it's not good. Like, I know I was a little contradictory, but my point is it's not good for him overall. And it's just definitely not good for him for the people he needs to win elections. His margin of error is so small, John. If he loses any sort of percentage that he lost in 2020, he has no shot at winning. So he needs to win those people back, and this isn't going to help. John, he will be in the news every single day for the rest of this year in court, at some sort of court. And that's never going to be good for a candidate. So I think they're looking at this the wrong way. But again, Donald Trump's a spin artist. He's always going to spin things as a positive for himself, and that's what he's going to do. But overall, anybody facing criminal charges is never going to be in a good position to win elections. And so I think they'll find that out soon enough.